So, good morning. I am Lakshmi Patay MG, Assistant Professor of Commerce, Government First Grade College, Madhugiri, Tumkur District, Karnataka State. My title is Financial Accounting 2. I am discussing session number 45 under the heading Branch Accounting, and now we are discussing the uh, types of branch accounting, under which the types of branch accounting we discussing about the meaning of dependent branches and its characteristics. So, for the purpose of accounting of branches in the books of head office, so branches have been classified into the following types: domestic business, domestic branches, foreign branches, even domestic or home branches are further classified into the following types. One is dependent branches, another one is independent branches. So dependent foreign foreign branches are always regarded as independent branches. So what is domestic branches? They refer to the branches located in the same country in which the head office is located. What is foreign branches? They refer to the branches located outside the country in which the head office is located. So what is independent branches? They refer to the branches which operate like a separate entity. Though legally it is not a separate entity, they are the branches which maintain a complete accounting system itself. The head office would only incorporate the result of such branches at the end of the accounting period in its books. Next, what is dependent branches? So, dependent branches refers to are those branches which are mostly dependent on the head office for their supplies of goods as well as cash for expenses. Even the accounts of these branches are maintained by the head office. So they refers to the branches which are under the control of head office for its administration. The accounts of such branches are maintained by the head office. So dependent branches can be further classified into two categories. So one is fully controlled branches, another one is partly controlled branches. So fully controlled branches are those which have no powers for any decision making. They are not permitted to make any purchases on their own, but must depend on the supplies of the head office. Such branches cannot retain any amount collected from its debtors or from any other source, but must completely remit it to the head office. The expenses of such branch are totally met by the head office. Next, partly controlled branches are those which are given some limited powers for decision making. Such branches are given a certain amount of flexibility in its operations. It can make any purchases on its own in times of need and emergency, and need not wait for the supplies of the head office. It can retain the collections and meet some expenses. The balance of collections after meeting must only to be remitted to the head office. Next. So what are the features of dependent branches? So dependent branches, following are the some characteristics or features of are as follows. The first one is goods are supplied by the head office. Branch has no right to purchase goods directly. So in dependent branches, goods are supplied by the head office only. No right to purchase by the branch goods locally or anyone. What is the second one? So head office can supply the goods either at cost price or at invoice price. So what type of goods are supplied by the head office to the branch is, there are two types of goods are signed. One is at cost price, another one is at invoice price. What is cost price? So branch can add certain percentage to cost price. The selling price is not, even some certain some percentage of profit to be added. What is invoice price? Invoice price, cost plus profit added by the head office to the branch. Next. So branch is required to sell the goods either for cash or credit, or for both cash and credit, depending upon the instructions given by the head office to the branches. So whatever the instructions Suppose both type of selling are adopted as per the information given to the branches, then only the branch is selling the goods either for cash or for credit. Strictly, most of the branches are selling only at cost, selling only cash, not for credit, because collection is very difficult from debtors. Next, all the regular expenses of the branch like rent, salary, advertisement, etc. are paid by the head office by check, through check. But petty expenses like postage, telegrams, entertainment expenses, etc. are paid by the branch. Even these petty expenses are paid by the branch, out of the petty cash sent by the head office on the impressed system. Next, petty expenses like postage, stationery, entertainment expenses are paid by the head office, are paid by the branch. Next, the branch is required to deposit the cash sales proceeds and cash collected from the debtors must be remitted completely to the head office directly. So if any cash sales or cash collected from the debtors, so that amount must be remitted to the head office directly. There is no retaining the amount in the branches. Next, the branch do not maintain complete set of books. Only the following books are normally maintained. So one is cash book. So it is maintained to record the receipts and payments of cash by the branch. Petty cash book. It is maintained to record the receipt of petty cash and payment of petty expenses by the branch. Sales book. It is maintained to record the credit sales of goods. Memorandum stock account. It is maintained to record the goods recovered from the head office, goods returned to head office, goods sold by the customers, and opening and closing stock of goods. What purpose we prepare or maintains memorandum stock register? How many goods we are received from head office, and how many goods we return to head office, and how many goods sold to the customers. What is the opening and closing balance of stock of goods in branch? And next one, to record the credit sales of customers, that is total debtors accounts are also maintained. And finally, branch do not maintain complete set of books of account Therefore, head office maintains necessary accounts of branch on the basis of stock statements, cash statements, petty cash statements, and statement of debtors, etc., sent by the branch to the head office. So, in this session, we are discussing about the types of branches, under which session we are discussing about the dependent branches. So, dependent branches are those branches which are under the control of head office for its administration. The accounts of the branches are maintained by the head office. The branch has to depend on head office. It should not purchase directly. It has to act as per the instructions given by the head office from time to time. And also we know the discussion about the types of dependent branches, that is fully controlled branches and partly controlled branches. And lastly, we are discussing about the characteristics or features of dependent branches. So these are the references given by the different authors. So thank you very much.